So Patrick, what are you seeing from your customers in terms of the uptake of the S25 versus the Ultra model? Are most customers going for the Ultra model at this point?
In the early days, and that's very usual for S series, what we see in the first weeks, obviously the early adopters and people who are tech savvy tend to buy the new devices first, and in those early adopters, there is a majority of kind of ultra type of tech savvy people. So naturally, at the beginning, the sales of ultra tend to be higher, and then over time, it's kind of more balanced across the whole series.
You mentioned your users are beginning to use some of those AI features. Is it frequent? Because I've seen some of the AI features and they're great, and there's new functionality coming on board, but it feels to me there's still no killer features yet that's been promised by the industry.
Well, there is actually, that's been a big surprise to us, and not only on S25. We started the journey with S24, and we've seen remarkable adoptions, actually beyond my personal expectation of those features, starting with Circle to Search. Still, Circle to Search is used by over half of the users use it on a daily basis. So it's very intuitive. You just circle what is interesting you, and you will have an intelligent search that will give you meaningful information about that content. Things like we are a communication company, and one of our key focus has been to break barriers of communication. Most people only speak one language and stay in one country, but still the translation interpretation functions are used by well over 10% people, 10, 12, 15%, depending on the country, which is quite remarkable results. We saw doubling usage of the generative edits, some of the assistance function in the picture edition. So it's quite remarkable. Most of these things have been quite well used, and we actually are managing the roadmap to only add meaningful experiences. We don't do gimmicks.
Patrick, a lot of people are talking about agentic AI and also an appless world as well. These are obviously interesting concepts, and the idea sounds great. The idea that we have this very powerful digital assistant that is able to kind of almost know what we want to do and help us out on some of these everyday tasks. How far away are we from that vision? Is that a vision Samsung wants to drive towards?
Absolutely, with S25. I don't like that much this kind of industry buzzword things, so I like to kind of put that in context of real people, normal people in the street and customers. What that means literally is we have added intelligence at multiple touch points of our user interface. Like in the keyboard, you can translate, you can on the screen, you can circle to search, and so on and so forth. But we are exposing those capabilities to agents, so like Bixby or Gemini. And what that do for you, I think that's what's most important. Things like simple things like I'm an Arsenal fan. I want to know when are the next 5 Arsenal games, have those in my calendar and get notification when Arsenal scores. So I just need to say that, and it will happen. So what that means for the user doesn't need to know that we need to activate the search to go on the internet to search, and I need to open the calendar app, which is a Samsung app, to put those things. It just get the action done across app. Or for example, you and others are writing a lot of reviews on our products, which I watch actually, but there are many. But simply to say, well, watch these YouTube videos and summarize them and write me a note. And that note will be created directly into Samsung Notes. This is a remarkable action which is possible today. So basically what we mean by that is exposing capability to the user so things can get done simply without the users having to navigate through different apps. Now, the vision is, and the challenge will be, the vision is to extend that to multiple domains and across the whole ecosystem, which is a long journey.
Patrick, help me understand Samsung's approach and strategy to AI from a business perspective as well. It looks with the S25, you are putting a lot of reliance on Google, on Gemini for some of these capabilities, but so are a lot of the other Android players as well. So how do you go about then coming to market with a differentiated experience, say, to a Xiaomi or an Oppo?
Well, we have a long partnership with Google, and it's fair to say we see ourselves as we have a mission, which is to democratize this AI functionality. We believe we are leading the Android ecosystem for a long time, and that's the way the partnership works. So we innovate in the ecosystem, and it's fine that there is competition and companies will use Android, and that's okay. So our differentiation point, however, is constantly innovating. We've been the first with S24, with Circle to Search. We've been the first with like on the foldable device with screen continuity. So we are innovating a lot of functions for the ecosystem with Google as a partner, and we'll continue to do so. So being at the forefront is one point of differentiation. Secondly, we do it with the highest quality and security for our customers. So things like the quality of the device, or 7 years OS and security updates, these are fundamental things which are important. And we believe that leading the innovation, but leading the innovation with quality and security for our customers are very, very strong points of our offering.
Do you think your partnership with Google will adapt to create more exclusive features in terms of AI for your devices? Because you mentioned you're first, but then we do see some of the other Android players catch up and do very similar things or the same thing. So how do you keep that level of innovation and that level of leadership, especially when the other Android players do eventually have many of these features?
Well, I tend to focus on if we do the right thing by our customer, I think we'll lead, and we are seeing good success. There are a number of things that we do actually that innovative in our device. I mentioned notes and the edition functions with the pen, and these are things that we do independently. There are a number of features in the camera, in the visual experience that we do, including advanced capability of kind of custom silicon hardware with Qualcomm. So there are a number of things that we do to differentiate our devices, software and hardware, of course, but also we are aware that actually we need to address the whole ecosystem, and things that we do for the ecosystem are available for the competition. That's fine.
And how are you thinking about it from a business perspective, from a monetizable perspective? Is this about driving still sales to the hardware, or are you thinking about ways you can monetize some of these advanced AI features?
It's fair to say that we are at the start of the journey. Our first consideration has been, so why AI is transformative for us? Because we want to democratize and to simplify the user interaction. So first is, we believe thanks to AI and specifically LLM technology, your user interface becomes intelligent. So that's the first thing, and that's a revolution. By making it very simple for people to use, we believe there is a big step forward for our core business. So that's kind of still the focus. Make things simpler, make the experience simple across smartphone and other devices. Now, in the future, around AI, will there be innovative services? Probably. Will there be monetization methods? Probably. But our first focus has been simplify things for our users' life.
Patrick, can we talk a bit about the macro environment as well? As one of the leading players in the world, there is ever increasing competition in the space, and particularly from some of the Chinese vendors who are also coming out with very innovative devices as well at aggressive price points. How are you seeing competition right now, one in the premium segment of the market where you're seeing more and more devices being launched, but also in that mid-range?
Yes, so competition is healthy. I would say it's a good thing for consumers that there is healthy competition. So it keeps us honest, keep us humble, and keep us very engaged and active. So you talked about in the premium market, I think the key word is quality and relevance. So we've been very careful we believe we are leading on the AI phone. We launched S24. We've been deploying Galaxy AI on over 200 million devices to date. I believe we are the leading company in terms of scale and adoption of AI phones beyond the kind of the buzzword and the declarations. It's real and tangible, 200 million devices in market across a wide range of devices. And we want to democratize it. As I said, on our I-series devices, Circle to Search is available, so people can do that. So we'll make all the functions available to the wide variety of device and users, subject to performance. And that's the last point. Again, we don't compromise on quality and performance.
Yeah. And Patrick, in the global environment right now, the globalization is getting tougher. We've seen new tariffs come in from the US administration on China, on Canada and Mexico. You're a global business. Are you seeing any impact from these tariffs, particularly as you have production in places like China?
Well, those are things that we don't control and I don't control personally in my role. My role is to do best products for customers. And those things are, I think they may impact the business, but we don't control them. Our sole and unique focus is doing the right products, and on the mid to long term, right products for the customer wins.
Patrick, future roadmap, many people excited about where Samsung's going with the innovation. You're often first to market with many of the leading innovations, particularly on the hardware front as well. We've seen a lot of excitement about trifold phones. You were first to market with the foldables. How are you thinking about more foldables?
Well, you will see over time actually we will always innovate the form factors, but I would like to actually yes, so we will innovate the form, and we've been innovating form factors in smartphones for a long time, and we'll continue to do so. But I think there is another new dimension that is open. When we look at the customer experience and this kind of advanced sensor and UI, I think we go beyond smartphone. I have here the Ring that is excellent for sleep and health management. We have watch. And I think with the advent of multimodal AI, we are addressing all the form of user interaction, be it touch, voice, text, but also vision. And there is a great new future when we will add vision multimodality into the new devices.
That's it. And I think you're alluding here to Project Muhan and some of the more the headset and glasses focus future as well. What is the future you see there?
Well, you said it. We started to experiment, and you saw the Project Muhan on our booth a bit earlier. Clearly, it's a very interesting future to add vision space into that equation. And to me, the breakthrough technology is a combination of advanced vision capability with intelligence that understands the user intention. I think without the intelligence part, it's a defective product. But hopefully, we are getting at the stage where we can actually add truly multimodal intelligence to this kind of very powerful XR devices. It's an exciting future.
We haven't seen that sort of large headsets take off the way many people had thought. So is the real future in the glasses form factor?
It's early days. My personal view is that there will be a combination of devices that will be used by our customers. Probably for quite some time still, the smartphone will be the most used devices. I don't see those independent. I see a world where people have various things, including in their home, in their car, and the devices will help you accomplish what you need to be accomplished, appropriate device at the appropriate time in the appropriate environment, be it on the move, in your car, in your home.
And just finally, Patrick, just could you give us a timeline for when we might see the first headset?
I have no precise time. In our industry, beyond 3 years is like futuristic. So in the next few years.
In the next few years. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Patrick.
Thank you.